Let me give you the number one thing you can do to improve your digestion and improve your energy from the food that you eat. And let me give it to you by a little story that happened a couple of years ago with my kids. We were walking in the mall, and in the mall you have the food court. And there was this big table in the middle of the mall, and around the table were a bunch of monks. And they were all dressed up, Buddhist monks, I think. And they all had their heads down. We couldn't see them exactly what was happening, but all their heads were down. And immediately my thought was, they're meditating. They're meditating before they eat. They do their ritual meditation. And I told my kids, I said, kids, you got to be quiet because they're meditating. So as we're getting closer and closer to the table, next thing we know, as we look, every single monk around the table has their head down, but their head is down looking at a phone. Yes, a phone. Now, this is not what you want to do before you eat. What you do want to do is before you eat, if you can really pay attention just for a moment, pay attention to the food you're about to eat. And what you do is when you look at the food, you slow down your breath. And I know I've talked about this in a lot of videos, but slow down your breath and try to see the food in detail. And when you look at the food in detail, you start to notice the colors. You start noticing the fragrances, and you start noticing anything else about the food that you haven't noticed. In other words, you're looking for things you haven't seen in the food. And what this all does is it brings your attention in the present moment when you're about to eat the food. And when you do that for as quick as 30 seconds to a minute, your whole nervous system shifts into what's called a parasympathetic rest and digest state. In other words, when your nervous system knows it's time to eat because your attention is fully there, guess what happens? Your digestion improves because your full body is on one focus. That means food, eating. Instead of what we saw with the Buddhist monks, which shouldn't have happened, especially for my kids, because I wanted to teach my kids the right thing, is to bring your attention in that moment. And what you'll notice is not only will you have better digestion, you'll have better energy, but the food will taste a lot better because you're going to enjoy the food. Now, adding to this process after the 30 seconds to a minute before you eat it, when you start to eat it, you want to start to get a sense of the taste of the food, how it feels in the mouth, the smell, notice any other qualities of the food when you're eating the food. And I can tell you when you do that, you will enjoy the food so much more and you won't eat as much because you'll get full faster, okay? So try this out, play with it, enjoy it, and share it.